essentially human with many distinct differences. They found that the bodies were only about 3.5 feet tall, completely hairless, with grayish color skin, and no sex organs. The head was larger than a human's head and contained a much larger brain. The eyes were large and black, but the rest of the facial features were small, of nose, mouth, and ears. They also found that the mouth could not be used to ingest food. Well, they looked inside the body and discovered that it only had one large organ in the chest area. Now, there was no heart, lungs, stomach, kidneys, or urinary tract. Now, this posed many puzzling questions. How did the alien breathe, take nourishment, excrete body waste, circulate nutrients through the body, and reproduce itself? Well, it turns out that that one large organ had the combined function of a heart and lung, and that the aliens take nourishment by absorbing a biological slurry mixture through the pores of their skin, and they excrete body waste back out through those same pores. The food turned out to be made up of nutrients that were found in the human body parts in the craft. It was also discovered or determined that the aliens reproduced themselves through the cloning process, because it was found that all of the alien bodies were identical in every way. The circular dish shape of the UFO was like nothing anyone had ever seen before at the time. I mean, there were no propellers or jets, no wings or surface control surfaces. The surface of the craft had no weld marks, rivets, or soldering joints. The components of the craft appeared to be molded and pressed together into a perfect fit. They also found that the craft was powered by a small atomic engine. And below the power plant level, they discovered a ball turret 10 feet in diameter, which they assumed was the main propulsion unit that functioned like a bladeless turbine engine. Now, this is pretty bizarre stuff for the people in 1947. But only 4 days after the crash, UFOs were spotted over Murik Army Airfield, which later became known as Edwards Air Force Base, and over the secret Rogers Dry Lake Test Center. Well, the base went on full alert. F-51 fighter aircraft were scrambled to intercept the aircraft and shoot them down. Of course, it was a futile effort because the UFOs could fly rings around our most advanced fighter aircraft. Eventually, the UFOs departed without further incident, but President Truman responded quickly to the possibility of an attack or full-scale invasion by the aliens. A National Security Act was passed that same year, which created the CIA, the US Air Force as a separate branch of military service, and the National Security Council, which is comprised of the President, Vice President, Secretary of State, and Secretary of Defense. Well, contingency plans were drawn up, and the Navy was given full operational control over all alien-related projects. The President also created a study group to advise the President on all matters relating to alien contact. It was comprised of 12 of the highest qualified individuals in the area of science, defense, and intelligence. They were known as the Majestic 12, and their advice was to keep everything about the aliens secret, attempt to find a way to communicate with the aliens, and to find a way of being able to research their technology with funds that were not accountable to anyone. Well, they decided to use the funds from the importation, distribution, and sale of illegal drugs to the American people. Admiral Forrestal, as Secretary of Defense, took offense to this and was forced to resign. He was then admitted to Bethesda Naval Hospital for treatment of an acute paranoid disorder. It was reported that he died while attempting to hang himself. The fact that his arms were tied behind his back at the time was simply overlooked. I'd say he had reason to be paranoid, wouldn't you?
He was thrown out of like the upper levels, died from a fall out of the window.
Yeah. Well, with the help of gangster Lucky Luciano, drugs started flowing into this country, and thousands of American lives were ruined as a result of their addiction to the illegal drugs. I'm sorry, I know some people that suffered this fate. In any case, by 1951, they finally had enough drug money to be able to build Dreamland, which stands for Data Repository and Maintenance Land at Area 51 in Nevada. They were then ready to begin testing and evaluating the alien technology that they'd been recovering over the years. They did it completely outside of congressional scrutiny and of the knowledge of the mainstream government. In 1952, several agencies were created by the government to help deal with the alien problem. The National Security Agency was established, and together with the CIA and the newly founded National Reconnaissance Office, as well as the Delta Security Forces, they completely took over all alien contact related activities. In 1953, Project Sigma was successful in establishing communications with a gray-skinned species, commonly referred to as Greys, who stated that their abduction of humans was merely for examination purposes, that they meant us no harm, and that they were willing to share their advanced technology with our government. Well, another blonde-haired, blue-eyed, human-looking species from the Pleiades star system met with President Eisenhower to warn him about the true intentions of the Greys, which is to take over the world, and they offered us their help. Well, in order for us to get their help, we would have to destroy all of our nuclear weapons, begin teaching our people to practice unconditional love and acceptance of our fellow man, stop polluting the planet, and invite them to come and help us. Well, their offer was refused because they wouldn't share their advanced technology with us. They stated that humanity was not spiritually evolved enough to be able to deal with their technology. So it was decided instead to enter into an agreement with the Greys, whereby the U.S. would not interfere with alien activities or reveal the alien presence. And the aliens would be permitted to maintain underground bases on U.S. soil, as well as being able to abduct humans on a periodic and limited basis for medical examinations, provided that they were returned unharmed and without memory of the incident, and that a list of their names would be provided to the National Security Council on a regular basis. In exchange, the aliens agreed to make their advanced technology available to our government. Now, this doesn't sound like a bad deal, does it? Unless, of course, you're one of those that are abducted, or you don't care about what the aliens are doing in their underground bases. A meeting took place, which was just like in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. At this meeting, a representative of humanity and the alien